welcome back to my knitting podcast. My name is Olivia. I live and work in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I started knitting about a year ago. It's been about 7-ish, maybe 8 months since my last video. I ended up moving, I had to furnish my apartment, and then I just was so out of the habit of knitting from all of that that it took until about maybe September or October for me to start again. And at that point there was really nothing new for me to show you, and then I got our current plague, and then my mom got our current plague, and then it was January, and now here we are. It is February and I'm back. I've been knitting a lot, and so I have a few things to show you. I'm really excited. So let's get started. So firstly, probably one of the first projects that I started back in March, I finished that in September. It was my first color work project, and it was the Songbird Mittens by Erica Heusser. I can't believe I still remember all that information about it. So I finished them, both of them. Remember, in July I had about one mitt done, and I didn't want to do the thumb. They're completely done now. So the thumbs are equally as beautiful as the rest of the pattern. The gloves themselves are really warm because of the color work, like the flows underneath. My only qualm with this project is the yarn that I chose. I knit this in Drops Fabel, which is like 100% wool, which I didn't think I would have a problem with, but I actually find it quite itchy. After I blocked them, they softened up a bit, but I just won't be using Drops Fabel again. I'm pretty positive about that. It took me a lot shorter of a time to knit the second mitten, but I did have a mistake. You can see at the top, this is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what the second mitten looks like. So there's quite a bit of a difference, and because it was like the last few rows, I remember just thinking, like, cut the cameras, it's over, I'm not re-knitting this. I just wanted to get them off the needles because I've had them on since March. So I finished these in about September, and I was so proud of it because, like I said, this was my first color work project. I just decided into the deep end, didn't even know what the hell was going on, didn't know how to hold my yarn, just threw myself into it. And I've knit 2 color work mittens since September, so obviously I like it. The second colorwork mitten that I knit is called the Deathflake mitten, and it's a pattern that was adapted into a mitten pattern. I'll list who the pattern is by and who it was adapted from. I don't remember off the top of my head. I knit these for a friend. I'm going to be showing you the footage because they're actually already shipped off to that friend. And she lives in California and I do not. So the footage is here. As you can see, the mittens themselves are just pure black and white. They're with the Drops Fabel as well. I had bought them and that yarn at the same time as I had bought it for the Songbird mitten, so I didn't really have the experience that I had with that yarn that I have now. So now I know that I probably won't be using it again, but I mean, it's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. The mittens worked out really well. I worked really hard on them to not get any mistakes, and that worked out. I didn't have any mistakes in them, and it was really difficult. I think it took me about maybe a couple of months to knit these, but it wasn't that long at all. It was maybe about a month or a month and a half, and I believe when I finally got into the swing of it, I could do about a third of the mitten in like a day. So the second mitten went kind of like that, and then it's always a job for me doing the thumbs. I don't know why, but yeah. The third colorwork mittens that I did were for my friend whose birthday is this week, and it's also Valentine's Day, so I decided to go along with that theme. And I used a new yarn that I tried, Cascade 220 Superwash. I've never used a superwash yarn before, but I'm not sure if she has sensitive skin or not, and I believe that she does, so I didn't want to like try and just like see how it goes. So these are the mittens that I knit for her, and this is the heart mitten pattern, and I'll put the pattern in the description and on the screen so you can see. So these, I knit the first mitten in just over 24 hours. It is a worsted weight yarn, but I was still so shocked. I still don't know how I did that. And I'm still so proud of it. Like, I can't believe I knit that in like almost a day. Not including the thumb. But still, I did that. So shocked. The yarn itself, super soft. I think I might have to start using superwash yarn for myself because I think I have sensitive skin. So these will be given away in about a few days. So that's another gift knit. So this is my second gift knit, and I never thought I would really end up gifting things to people with my knitting, but now that I seem to be getting a little bit faster, I have less of an issue with giving the knitting away. I think it just depends on whether or not I think that person will really appreciate what I'm knitting for them, since it takes so much of my time. But now that it's a little bit less of a time commitment, I'm not as squirrely about doing it, which is an interesting thing to find. Another project that you might remember from July was my Paloma sweater by Espace Tricot. I finished it this fall. I've worn it once or twice and gotten a lot of compliments on it, which is always incredible. The reason I'm not wearing it for the video is because it's quite itchy, and as much as I love it, I have to like wear something underneath it. Otherwise my neck gets a little bit itchy because it is a turtleneck. So this was knit with the Briggs and Little Sport in natural white and the drops Kid-silk in natural white too, I believe. The pattern itself, I feel like I've already spoken about it. It was my first sweater, and I was so shocked at how long it took to knit the yoke. It took me equally as long to get the gumption to knit the rest of the body, and then once again as long to knit the rest of the sleeves. So sweaters, I basically started knitting so that I could have more sweaters, and I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't know if I'm a sweater knitter just yet. I really did like that yarn pairing though, so I actually started a pair of shorts in the exact same yarn pairing because it's incredibly like smooth to the touch, and it's just they're both really nice to knit with. And the Briggs and Little, even though I think I have sensitive skin, it's still one of my favorite yarns. It's just, I don't know, it's just really nice and natural, and it's just beautiful. So this is these are the shorts. I'm not done at all, but these are the winter warmers, and they're by the Drops like Garn Studio, so it's a free pattern. I started these probably in about October, and the reason that I'm having such a hard time finishing them is I'm so confused about what happens in like the gusset of the shorts. Like, I have my two like stitch markers here, and I'm supposed to start like splitting to do something, and I'm so confused by it, and it's kind of freaking me out, and that's why I haven't started, which is unfortunate because I really want to have these shorts, but I'm just too scared. One of my other just like in the meantime projects was this little market bag, and I knit this in one of the cotton yarns from Drops. I think it was Drops Paris that I used in the natural white that I got over the summer. Oh, I did not leave the ends in. Well, so I knit this, or actually I crocheted this, so that I could have it for the upcoming summer, and it was from a pattern by Wool and the Gang, which something's wrong with my crocheting. I always end up getting, even though the pattern can be like easy to understand, I will always end up adding extra crochets like when I turn. I don't know why. I just have a really hard time seeing like where to stop when I'm crocheting, so I ended up having to stitch in where it was supposed to be, and I think I'm just gonna use this to hold like lip gloss or something because I just didn't want to unravel it. I did the straps kind of like an opposite side so that the bag would come together more like a market bag and not like a tote bag, because that's the look I'm going for. So I can't wait to like walk around with like fruit and books and, you know, all that kind of stuff and look cute in the summer. I'm excited for that. This I finished in probably about that's actually embarrassing, it was probably about a week, but I modified the pattern because they wanted me to do like double crochets and single crochets, and the rows of single crochet, you can see the difference. This is when I stopped because it was taking so long, so I just did the rest of it in all double crochets. So the bottom is a little bit more sturdy than the top, which is completely fine. I feel like that's how it should be. So I believe my other and last project is that I started a sweater using Drops Kid-silk in like magenta and Briggs and Little Heritage in magenta. So yeah, and it's the candy cane sweater, and it's by Garn Studio, so Drops free pattern. So I started this, it's on like a size 6 needle, and I'm about this far into it. I started this maybe about a week or two ago. No, probably about 2 weeks, and then I had to stop to knit the pink mittens since I knew I was going away. Anyway, my issue with this sweater is that I think I picked too big of a size, and I didn't account for the fact that the larger size in yarn would make the sweater bigger already. So I have to get used to that because this is already way too big. So I've decided that I'm going to make it into like a V-neck vest. I think they have another pattern for a vest that I'm just going to kind of go along with that because I just don't want to wear this as a sweater. I don't know. The other issue that I'm having is that the Kid-silk Mohair, I find instead of it being like a true pink, it's really picking up as like a light pink, almost like a silver white in the knit. So I don't really enjoy that, and I feel like I don't want to frog it because of how much I've already knit, but I'm just not going to enjoy it as a sweater if it just has like light pink, almost white looking silver stitches in it, like all the way through. Like to knit all the sleeves and everything and just not fully enjoy it, that would really bother me. So I think just capping it off as a vest is like the best way to salvage the situation. And I think that I will have to buy all of my yarn more so in person because like on the website, I feel like you can't really tell that the yarn itself kind of skews a bit white. How would I know? I wouldn't, and I didn't. So that's the problem. My last bit, I'm like not in the habit of making these videos anymore, so I think I'm going really fast. But my last bit is just like the yarn that I've acquired since then. I was on a shopping ban, so I didn't actually buy any yarn up until December 31st. So that makes this very easy. That's a lie. I bought some yarn from the dollar store because I couldn't help myself. It was a kind of never seen or used before. It's these just like silly little skeins of jersey knit cotton. I've already used one, and I have another type in purple, and I use them just to knit some little dog hats. I'll probably put some pictures in of my dogs wearing them, maybe only a couple, just like while I was watching TV. So that was cute. I mean, I just want to use them for silly little things. These are the two Cascade yarns, the Superwash, 220 Superwash that I use to knit the heart mittens. This is Mauve Mist, and this is Very Berry, and they're both really nice. Like, I enjoyed knitting with these quite a bit. So I might pick up more Cascade Superwash yarn in the future. And I got those from a local, the Cascade yarns from a local yarn store here in downtown Toronto called Romney Wools, and they're awesome. I also got from Romney Wools this. I've always wanted like a hand painted yarn, so I got this by Artfil, and it's in the color Monet. It's just one skein. That's because I mean, it was like $34, and I am not used to spending that much on yarn just yet, so I didn't want to buy a bunch of it, not really know what to do with it. So I'm thinking I want to do just like a small, cute little project with this, maybe like a cowl or a balaclava, just so I can get into like using some more like luxurious yarns and see how I like it. This is like extra fine merino wool, which I've never knit with, so I'm just like dipping my toe into the water to see how I do. And my only other purchase was from Wool Warehouse, who I love to purchase from if you're in Canada. It's really easy to get yarn from them. They're in the UK, but the shipping's like $7, and they have so much, and they always have sales. So I have the baby alpaca silk. I'm not even sure what colors these are. This is probably like a natural white. I have the Drops Alpaca Mix, which is 100% alpaca, so I'm not even sure what the mix is. Don't know, but this is in beige, or a beige, like a heathered beige. I don't quite remember. You can see this one's a little bit more like floofy than the baby alpaca silk one is. And I got 3 of each of those. And then I also got the brushed alpaca silk in another neutral white. My color palette remains extensively neutral. What can I say? And I think I got 6 of these. Not at all sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I basically just wanted to test them out. I think I'm going to bring a few of them with me on my trip this week and see what happens. I think I'm going to be knitting with a friend or two who wants to learn how to knit, and she's been asking me for some pointers, so I might get to actually knit with them in person. So that'll be fun. I've never knit with other people, and so I'm excited to try that. That seems like a pre-pandemic luxury, or maybe like I have a lot of friends who live near me luxury, and I don't have that. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. Yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to come back on here and kind of talk about knitting again. I am now getting back into the flow of it. Obviously, those few months where I wasn't doing it, I actually did find that I had like a creative block, and that I generally started to feel better once I started knitting again, because I always need like a creative outlet. And so I'm really glad that I was able to get back into it. And it's really nice when you have already started a craft, so you don't have to like start the learning curve all over again. Actually, I think I did have to start the learning curve all over again. I forgot how to cast on, and I had forgotten how to cast off, and all like little things like that. I had to I had like the muscle memory, but I couldn't actually accomplish it that well. So yeah, now that I'm getting back into the swing of things and starting more projects, I don't know if you remember, but before I would kind of have to do one project at a time because I was learning and I was slow and it was a bit difficult for me. But now I have like multiple works in progress, which I find really exciting, and the fact that I'm still able to like finish the works in progress as I'm going is also really awesome. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and hopefully I'll be back soon. Bye.